Hey, what's going on, everyone? Dennis here, EDC for Fun. Thanks for checking out the video. Right now I've got a bunch of knives on the table that all have something in common. Now it's a little more than just the design elements. This is the Devo Growler. This is the Devo Buzz. And it's also more than just the company that produced these. Next up we've got the Devo Stout. These last two are going to give it away if you haven't figured it out already. This is the Kubi Royal. And this is the Twosun TS319. And if you see that logo there, that CM stands for Collin Maisonpierre. And this Royal also bears that mark. So Collin Maisonpierre is the designer of these two knives and then co-designer for these three knives here from Devo. And Collin has become one of my favorite designers. I really like the aesthetic and the design language that he uses. And we're going to talk today about my most recent acquisition from Collin. Well, not from Collin, but of his designs. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll move these guys off to the side here and keep out this guy. So the Twosun TS319, don't like alphanumeric names, by the way, is not a new knife, but it is new to me. So this is my most recent acquisition as far as CM designs go. And this knife came out a few years ago. When it first came out, I did like the aesthetic. I did like the design. I think they were priced well, around 80 to 100 bucks, somewhere around there. But for one reason or another, I just wasn't really drawn to picking it up. I also, at the time, didn't really know a lot about Twosun. Of course, now most people who are into knives know about Twosun. They produce, essentially premium quality knives at less than premium prices. And you can get knives from Twosun for a fraction of what you would get them from other companies. And this is no exception here. So lo and behold, as time went by, I eventually decided, you know what, I think I am going to get one of these. And sure enough, they stopped making them. They were unavailable. And when they would come up on the secondary, they didn't last very long, or at least not in the places that I was looking. And so I recently saw one come up, and I picked this guy up for about 60 bucks, and I'm very happy that I did. Now, full disclosure, when I got it, it was in a little bit of rough shape. The blade was chipped. Actually, the blade still is chipped. I haven't fixed it yet. It's kind of hard to see, but it's right there. I can feel it with my thumbnail. It has been sharpened. It's got a decent edge on it, but it does have that chip. But I can sharpen that out. The blade's pretty scratched up. I don't really care about that because I'm gonna, add my own scratches. But the thing that kind of irked me was on the inside. When I took this guy apart, because the action was really gritty, I took it apart and there was rust inside, not only the pivot column, but on these inset liners here, there was just pockets of rust here and there. So I took this guy apart, I cleaned all the rust off, polished what I could, and then greased things down, put it back together, and I am really pleased with how this guy turned out. Obviously, I like the design. That's why I picked it up. But out of the box, and actually it didn't even come in the original box, it came in some random box. But yeah, out of the package from which I received it, I was not really happy with it. But taking it apart, cleaning it, polishing it, like I said, it runs like a dream now. So I'm super psyched. I've been using this knife a bunch over the last, I guess, month or so since I've had it. And it's become a staple in my rotation. I love carrying this knife. I love the way it feels in hand. The ergonomics are really good. It's got a thick handle, so it does fill the hand very nicely. It's on the smaller side, but it does have, like I said, excellent ergonomics, so it doesn't feel as small as it measures. It's got a really cool sheep's foot blade. It just looks really wicked. It's got a little belly to it. It slices really, really well. It also has that semi-acute tip there, but it is a sheep's foot, so it does stay pretty robust out to the tip, which is nice. I really like that. But yeah, using this guy every day for all my different EDC tasks has been a joy. And in and out of the pocket has also been really nice. It's got this excellent 3D machine clip on here. And while we're talking about that, we'll just go ahead and get a little zoom in action. So yeah, look at the chamfering around that clip. You've got that little ball there. It carries in the pocket pretty well. It's got excellent retention. Usually I don't like single screw clips because they tend to wobble back and forth, but this one is inset, so that there is a particular shape that this clip has as it sits inside the scale there that keeps it from moving around. Next to that, you've got these burlap micarta inlays, which don't really have a lot of texture. It's kind of smooth, but it does look really cool. We'll look at the other side here. So you can kind of see the way the light's shining off that. It's definitely on the smoother side, but you can kind of see some of the fibrous material of the burlap micarta that does give it a little bit of texture. You get a similar effect with these dark stonewashed titanium scales. You can kind of see some, these are, I hesitate to say witness marks, but maybe it's micromilling or witness marks, but you can kind of see these lines across here. And so it's not completely smooth. Of course, you've got this excellent radius milling around the pivot, and the size of the pivot's really cool. I like the big pivot. Looks awesome. On this side, you've got this like kind of tri-way thing going on there, which looks really cool. And you do have on the liners, like I mentioned before, an inset liner, which is excellent. And the relief for this guy is perfect. You can see the way it's cut away there. And then even the lock bar has a little bit of chamfering on there as well. No jimping, but a little bit of chamfering goes a long way. It's very comfortable, very easy to actuate. You also have this big choil here, which you can put your finger there. But in terms of being a choil, you can see you've got a lot of space here to do some sharpening. So the blade doesn't really get thick till you're at the plunge grind, which is way back here. So you can sharpen this guy a bunch of times with no issues. I think in the future, just as a side note, what I might end up doing with this guy, I might acid etch and stonewash this blade. I think that might look really cool, kind of like how this this pair of 3 is here. I don't know, what do you guys think? We'll go ahead and look at a little bit of a size comparison, because they are pretty close in size. The pair of 3 is a little bit bigger, but you've got a similar kind of ergonomic profile in that you've got this groove up here, and then you've got the rest of the handle down there. The blade size is going to be pretty similar. Grab my ruler here. So on the, and I'm just eyeballing, okay? We're looking at like 2.5 inches on the pair 3, and we're looking at about 2 and maybe 3/8 on the TS319. Inner grip is going to be from this point to this point. On the pair 3 is about 3 1/4, and then on the Twosun, the inner grip from this point to this point is going to be about 3, and if I could stop moving, 3 and 3/16, somewhere around there. Again, just kind of eyeballing it. But one of the things I love about this guy, even though the inner grip is small, it's got this taper back here. Go ahead and move this out of the way, which allows you to get your pinky on there very comfortably. So even though you can, on as far as where this point is, it's more like a 3-finger knife. With that taper, you get 4 fingers on there, and it is very comfortable, especially with the thickness of this knife. Looking at it here next to this PM2, you can see that is substantially thicker, especially with that pocket clip on there. But it does fill the hand very nicely. So you get 4 fingers on there, you get a nice thick robust handle to grab onto. Like I said, you've also got that choil there, and it's kind of reminiscent of this knife here. This is the Urban EDC F5.5. And so essentially you have a similar profile again here, where you've got a taper in the back. You've got a little bit of a swell, then you've got your relief for your lock bar, and then you've got a choil up here. So a very similar footprint. One of the reasons I suspect why I like this knife so much is because I like this knife so much. Now, obviously, they're different designers. This is Jesper Voxnäs, and this one is Collin Maisonpierre. But I wouldn't be surprised if there are some cues that Collin has taken from Jesper, because if you look at some of his other designs, like this, the Devo Buzz, you've got what they call, and they being Devo, this Vox style jimping up front. So they're certainly fans of, a little more than just aware of Jesper's designs, but they're definitely fans. And so I have no problem with them, utilizing some of the things that they like about Jesper's designs in their own designs. And I keep saying they, and really what I mean is Collin. Again, we'll take a look at his logo while we get a look at this blade here. Just zoom in there. So CM Designs TS319, and this is 14C28N blade steel. So nitrogen base steel, so very corrosion resistant. It's got decent edge retention and toughness and whatnot. Oh, you can see that chip there, or at least I can. You should be able to see that. So I'll sharpen that out at some point. Basically, once I use the rest of this edge, I'll go ahead and take care of that. But it works fine for now. So yeah, 14C. It's a good budget steel. On this knife, if I'm honest, like I said, it was priced between 80 and $100. That's a little much to pay for 14C, but then you got to consider you do get this titanium handle, a milled titanium clip, and these burlap micarta inlays. So all things considered, a pretty good deal, especially considering if you were to get this from, another company like, say, QSP or Riyadh or Bestech, it would, not be in that price range. It would certainly cost more, I suspect. Or even if it was an American maker, then you're going way up into the $300, $400, $500 range for for American made product with these materials and whatnot. So anyway, enough about that. I just wanted to come on here and show you guys this knife. I'm really happy that I added this one. Like I said, it's not new, but it is new to me, and I definitely recommend it. If you like this design, or if you like Collin's designs in general and you want to start collecting them, this is definitely one to get. So keep your eyes out on the secondary, whether it's NAF sale or eBay or whatever channels that you use, because like I said, I don't think these are available in any retailers, but if you keep your eyes out on the secondary, eventually one of these is going to pop up, and I definitely recommend snagging them. I've been really happy with mine, and I'm sure you would be too. I really appreciate you watching. Leave me a like and a comment, subscribe if you're not already, and other than that, have a fantastic day. God bless you guys. See ya.